This is the question from Vampire Mind that we're always having in our heads right now, and it's hello. How can we protect ourselves from inflation? Apart from converting fiat to Bitcoin, is there any other alternative assets we can bet on, like silver?
Yeah, the silver, gold, the most simpler assets that you can bet on to protect your wealth from inflation. Also, another set of assets that you can use, right, is obviously anything that you know that you could sell. Basically, anything you know that you could sell. So if you, I don't know, you are good at I don't know, Pokemon cards, right? You know what the best Pokemon card there is. You know that who you could sell it to. You know that the market. I think you should buy Pokemon cards. If you know if it's I don't know if it's pet rocks, you know the market, and you know how to sell it to those people, right? Sure, I think you should do pet rocks. Whatever it is that you can handle, you could easily liquidate is another store of value, right? Some people even use Rolexes as a store of value. You know, they've actually spent 30,000, anywhere from 30,000 to 70,000 to 100,000 for a Rolex, but they also know that they could sell it back for that price or more, right? And they could sell it back for a higher price in the future. So yeah, as long as you know how to manage that, I think those are also equally legit means of storing your wealth. Another example is also arts as well. For example, NFTs, or not just NFTs, but also physical art that you could purchase and hang on your wall. But you have to know what you're doing, and if you do, go ahead. That's another way to protect yourself. All right, next question.
Next question. This one is from Jolt's team. Jolt asks, how do you think Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will perform now that we are transitioning from a fear cycle to a greed cycle, where commodities do not historically perform as well as stocks?
I don't think that that's the case. Well, because I don't think we're seeing this cycle, that cycle. This is what Brian believes from the Rational Investor. Um, Normally, when we see the destruction of a currency, and can you see that coming here? Do you really think that the Federal Reserve can continue printing and not see anything happen? Can you tell me that? Can you tell me that's going to happen?
I
Can you
think
say that they could hit the print button and do print as much money as they want to, and nothing's going to happen? Nothing bad is going to happen. Can you say that? Can you honestly say that?
uh, no, but remember that these cycles last what, 17 and a half years from the greed cycle to the fear cycle, and we have recession every 5 to 8 years. So now we're hitting a recession, and maybe the next half of this greed cycle is going to get better. Maybe.
Maybe, maybe. But what happens when what happens when we go into hyperinflation? Do you think people are going to run to stocks? Right? Yes, there are going to be people going to stocks, but what do they store their things in? What do they store their wealth in? When you see hyperinflation in any of these countries, they go and buy stuff. They buy bicycles, cars, anything real, and they hang on to it every single time. And what's most real? It's the basic commodities, right? So you're going
Mm-hmm.
to see basic commodities do a lot outperform any kind of stock or any kind of other asset because it's a bit in the basic form that's used to produce something else, and that will have the higher valuation than um, stocks. I don't see stocks being doing well until Bitcoin is the money. Once Bitcoin is money, and once the cryptocurrencies are money, are being used as a means for you to buy your stock, stocks will go freaking ballistic, absolutely crazy. right? Because people are so used to like, oh, wait, I want to earn an income that's not going to change overnight, right? And so stocks will do extremely well once we have cryptocurrencies fully on board, and and then we're using that as a means to buy the stock. So you can see you owning a piece of stock directly through a cryptocurrency. Then I see stocks going absolutely nuts, absolutely nuts, and then they'll be real because people will be looking for actual companies that will actually earn something, that will actually produce something, and that's when things will get better. That's my take on things. I don't see this cycle, this nonsense, right? Because we are going through what's called a tail risk event when it comes to the U.S. dollar and currencies in general, fiat currencies in general. We're at the edge of the cliff. We're looking at a freaking mountain and seeing a snowbank so heavy, so hot, like hanging over, and you're like this. You're skiing underneath it, and this is the snowbank's like this. You're like, yeah, I can ski underneath that. It'll be fine. Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, right. Like, get real. All right.
Oh my
Alrighty.
god.
Next question.
Next question. So Mike Polyvin asked, would you invest in real estate and get monthly payments for rent and live from that money? Or would you invest in silver and gold and sell some every year as price will grow up?
Yeah, the problem with rents is that it works right now. If you accept the normalcy bias and you believe in this normalcy bias that this thing that we're not going to see hyperinflation. If you actually believe that, sure, it'll work, right? And if there is no hyperinflation, yeah, it'll continue to work. However, during hyperinflation, um, I don't know about you, Inti, but everywhere I've read there's hyperinflation. Um, they've had rent control, right? They prevented the rents from going higher, right? And so you would have to live off less and less money over time. You'd be able to probably pay your debts, right? Because even though the rent control was there, they did allow you to raise, and then obviously because your debt is a fixed payment, you'd be okay, right? But the um, but the income that you're getting shrinks lower and lower as the hyperinflation eats away at it. So yeah, consider that, right? If you're going into property, that's my only concern, right? That's why I think it's a good idea, but it does have a problem in that tail risk issue. Now imagine, right? You were to about to in 2019. Somebody were to tell you, well, there's going to be a pandemic. Would you have tried to open up a restaurant?
I don't think so.
Exactly, right? So, does that mean a restaurant business is a bad business to have?
Nope.
No, but there's going to be a period. But if I told you there's going to be a period where it is going to be bad, obviously you might want to delay that, right? That idea, right? And so I'm not saying, buying a property and renting it out is a bad idea. It's a good idea. It's just that there's a pandemic, there's a hyperinflation demic coming, and so it's a bad idea to do that just before that event occurs. After the event, right? For sure, right? But just before it, you're just gonna lose your shirt and getting hurt, right? So why do that? Well, the best thing I would suggest you do is find other companies that are going to pay out dividends during the hyperinflation, and will actually get advantage. Will have an advantage during hyperinflation. Would be the smart thing to do. Well, what are some of those ice companies? Farmland, right? Farming companies, mining companies, mining stocks, anything that deals with commodities. I think they'll do extremely well. I don't think there's going to be a downturn on commodities. And if the Ice Age farmer is correct, and there's a deliberate destruction on our food system, and it seems like it surely does, right? It seems like since China's buying up all the food, right, and going buck wild trying to store as much food as possible, seems like there's something big coming down the pipe. So yeah, you might want to load up on farming stocks and commodity stocks as much as you can and see if you can get the dividends on them, right? Alrighty. You all right, Inti? Oh, so we lost Inti there for a second because it's got the allergy to the cats.